Have you ever heard of the Winchester Mystery House? It's a mansion in San Jose, California, infamous for its architectural oddities and supposed hauntings. But today, I'm going to tell you a lesser-known but equally spine-chilling story. One that happened to a friend of mine. Imagine this: a long, winding road, dense fog creeping in, and an old, creaky wooden sign that reads, "The Blackwood Estate." My friend, let's call him Jack, was driving down this very road late one night. He was a photographer, always on the hunt for new locations. This estate had a reputation for being incredibly photogenic during the day, but downright terrifying at night. Jack parked his car and began to explore. The old mansion stood like a shadow against the moonlit sky, its windows dark and ominous. He stepped inside, his flashlight flickering as if it could sense the malevolent energy within. The air was thick, almost suffocating, and the floorboards creaked under his weight. Jack started snapping photos, feeling increasingly uneasy. He reached a room at the end of a long hallway. Inside, he found old furniture covered in white sheets, a grand piano, and portraits lining the walls. Portraits of people with eyes that seemed to follow him around. Suddenly, he heard it, a whisper. It was so faint, he thought he might have imagined it. But when he turned around, a cold breeze brushed past him, as if someone, or something, had just walked by. Jack's heart pounded in his chest, but he convinced himself it was just the age of the house playing tricks on him. He continued taking photos, his hands trembling. Then the whispering grew louder, turning into a chorus of voices. Jack turned to leave, but the door slammed shut on its own. Panic set in. He pulled at the doorknob, but it wouldn't budge. Behind him, the piano began to play a haunting melody, a song he recognized from his childhood, one his late grandmother used to play. He spun around, and there she was, an apparition of his grandmother, her eyes filled with sorrow. "Leave this place," she whispered, her voice echoing in the room. Jack stumbled backward, his mind racing. He tried the door again, and this time it opened. He bolted out of the house, not stopping until he reached his car. When he looked back, the mansion stood silent, as if mocking him. Jack drove away, never looking back. To this day, he refuses to talk about what he saw, but his photos tell a different story. In one of them, you can clearly see the ghostly figure of his grandmother standing in the doorway. So, if you ever find yourself near the Blackwood Estate, remember Jack's story. Some places are haunted for a reason, and it's best to leave them undisturbed. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, sometimes the scariest stories are the ones that are true. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more spine-chilling tales. Until next time, stay safe and keep your lights on.